I don't get it. I really don't get it, G-Dog.
What don't you get?
For like 3 weeks to a month and a half, SmackDown was cool. We keep saying it, and now it has just turned into garbage. Tonight's show was like bad to me. I don't know what the general population and public will think, and I will like to hear what other people will have to say, because I just don't get how you could defend tonight's episode as being good. What are your thoughts, real quick?
It's not even. Do I think it was like
This was the Pat Patterson episode, if anything, which I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's just this was a frustrating episode.
I don't even know if it was. It was frustrating for sure. I don't even know if it was so bad. To me, it was just empty. It didn't feel like with everything that's like kind of transpired in the wrestling world at large over the last week here now. This is the show we got, huh?
Yeah.
This is what we're putting on Fox. This is the show that gets viewed by. This is the wrestling show that weekly gets viewed by the most people in the world.
So there's something. I get it's WWE's name and recognition, but there's something that keeps drawing the people back.
But I don't even think you understand how many more like people could be watching this if you were actually putting on a great product.
What does that say about AEW then?
I think that means they
How many more
don't.
people would be watching that if they just saying?
Oh, I think that's a completely different argument. You're talking one established brand that's been around for so long versus a brand that like just not as many people know about it.
I feel like most, even casual WWE fans, probably know about AEW.
I'm talking about like
point.
people at large, like people like other people that are trying to be targeted. Like former wrestling fans, people like that. Yeah. You don't understand that there is a greater audience that isn't on Twitter, that isn't like part of the vocal community that like would want to watch wrestling, but like WWE just does not give them what they want.
So they should watch AEW then, if that's the alternative.
But again, that's the thing. They don't know about AEW. AEW still is just like...
I don't know if that's true, though. Most people, you think, probably know what AEW... I'm telling you, dude, their commercials are on YouTube now.
I know.
You see them, like...
They're getting out there the best they can. But you're talking about an established 50, 60-year brand. Like, the thing that's been around, the face of wrestling, especially exclusively for the past 20 years. All that WWE stuff. So I just think they need to continue. But I think after this week's episode of Dynamite, they're gonna trend in that direction.
Here we are for the Smackdown sound off. Sell It a Pro Wrestling show. Brother D joined ringside by the G-Dogg. This was the Pat Patterson's tribute episode. We opened up with a 10-bell salute for him. We had a great hype package for him later on. We had a very pointless 6-man tag tribute match. Why wasn't this match like a gauntlet match of sorts, or just a 6-man battle royale for the IC title? I don't know why. They had the very first ever original IC title that was made out of like the scrap from the graveyard, the train yard, the salvage.
I loved it, man.
It was sick. There was like
so
a horseshoe.
Cool. It was like the legit, like that was the one, and it's like, wow.
You're like, damn, that's very
wrestling
nice.
history.
So
that further speaks to my point about this established brand. They have this piece of metal from 1979 sitting there, and they have this lineage that they've built on. Rome was not built in a day.
WWE, the packages they do, that's still what gets anybody.
Oh, exactly. That that package they produced with Pat, they really like showcased that this is a guy that like even when he retired from being an in-ring competitor, he transcended like generations of wrestling. He was there for so many guys' careers.
He has such a stronghold on like the bringing up so many talent.
Absolutely.
He was sort of like a Dusty.
Oh, absolutely.
Where like he was part of this new age grooming these like younger talents.
Yeah.
And you see all the pictures and all of these kind words that people have said about him, and being the first intercontinental and being the like first kind of more openly gay wrestler at like points and all this stuff. So amazing career.
Absolutely.
I mean, and
the show really was built on the back of him, and that to me is kind of unfortunate because overall this was just a poor show.
we're not even going to dwell. This is the SmackDown sound off, but this is more of a State of the Wrestling Union address from Sell It, a Pro Wrestling Show, to the population, because what is going on with wrestling? What is it missing? What do we need to talk about? What do we need to find? Is there more? What's the symbolism? If I can quote Willem Dafoe, the Boondocks. The symbolism.
Boondock Saints?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we
what are you asking in regards to?
Just like with AEW, you have one of what some are arguing to be one of the best and/or groundbreaking episodes of wrestling in the last 10, 20 years. That's the problem too, is anything that happens nowadays is always considered the greatest thing ever. Yeah,
it's the greatest thing
Randy
until the
Orton's
next greatest
heel
thing.
turn.
The greatest thing ever.
It's the greatest heel turn ever. Miro said it's the greatest heel work ever.
You're like, what? No, you're just living in the moment.
Yeah.
But
time will always tell.
Time will always tell.
You can't ever take away Sting's awesome debut, the visual, everything.
No, and dude,
it's great.
Let's talk about that for a second, because
but wait, to my point though, is just like, if you have that's the alternative show, and WWE is somewhat competing with this show.
And this is how you retaliate.
It's like SmackDown is your this is our most viewed show, and this is the card we put on. Yeah. What the fuck?
I just look at it from the perspective of, if AEW, if the roles reversed right now, right? Because here's how ratings actually work. And I know as a fan, at the end of the day, these shouldn't matter to you, but they're fun to talk about, and they are fun to analyze.
My whole thing on it is views make you views.
Views make you views.
Views let you view.
Absolutely.
Without the views, you couldn't view.
Correct.
That's the whole point.
They're not going to be putting this stuff on if people aren't watching it. So exactly. You do kind of have to, in the back of your mind, pay attention to this stuff. When I'm watching a TV show, I like to know how many people are watching this TV show, because I'm like, is this going to get canceled in one season? Because I don't want to get attached to this.
Exactly.
So, and it's the exact same with wrestling.
Show.
Any NBC show.
You know what?
Except Superstore. What are you beeping over there?
There's some beeping going on. I must run upstairs. You address the people.
Oh, interesting.
We're getting crazy.
Okay. So here's the deal with the ratings. I think ratings are very important, and the way that ratings work is they are built on the back of the show that you presented the week prior. This week, AEW smashed NXT in the ratings. Yeah, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. I'm going to round it up. It's 915 to 665, I believe, was the total. Somewhere in that range. Okay? And the reason that happened is because we have this matchup between Moxley and Omega. And now, what did we get on that show? We had more viewers tune into this episode. And what did they get? They got not only Sting fucking debuting in AEW, they got Omega winning the title. They got Don Callis and Omega taking the title to Impact Wrestling. I think next week's episode of AEW, and I don't know what else in the TV landscape it's going up against. I don't know if there's a country fucking music award on or anything. I think next week's episode of AEW, which will have Kenny Omega in some way, shape, or form, Moxley in some way, shape, or form, Sting is already advertised to appear. That's going to break 1 million. I feel like it has to, which is fantastic.
So, do you think that views are an indication of the past week's episodes?
Absolutely they are. Absolutely they are.
But do you think views are also built up on the hype of the next episode, announcing matches for the next week or 2 weeks? Yeah. Which AEW has always done. I will give them that. They do always every week build every single match.
Did you know a single match that was going to be on SmackDown tonight before we started watching it?
Well, I don't keep up with that as much.
I know, but
probably not. Probably not. I don't know.
From last week's show, do you remember what they promoted? They didn't promote a match. They didn't say next week on SmackDown.
They might have done the tag. They did the Murphy, Baron Corbin. They announced that.
Okay.
I think, didn't they announce the tag team match last week? KO? No.
I don't think so.
No, he was attacked. Yeah.
It's one of those where they give you this certain level of hype. So what I was trying to get to in my big address here is if the roles were reversed and AEW was on Fox, and AEW had the amount of television homes it was in and the amount of people that could be watching it, and they put on the exact same episode of Dynamite they put on, but it was in front of 2 million viewers, okay, which is around what SmackDown is going to pull in for this episode. Around 2 million, 2.1, something like that. I stand to reason that the following week, you have so many more eyes on it. You have so many more people that have the ability to then watch it. You're going to pull in so many viewers.
What do you think SmackDown's missing? What is it? Is it because
consistency, continuity, editing,
here's the deal. At one point, I was like, this is the best paced show. Now, this is the worst paced show.
Well, the rumor is that because Vince McMahon comes in, tears up the script, and they don't know what they're doing until 2 hours before showtime. We opened with
Kayla Braxton. Roman and the family came down. And KO comes out. They go. Then Bailey just comes out right away after they leave.
Yeah.
Commercial, come back. And then it's Roman again talking to Jay.
Yeah.
Why?
Are we living in a pocket universe where, Bailey is
this going on simultaneously? Are they in the back?
Are you trying to be cute and cinematic, but failing super hard? What is happening?
I don't get it. Like I said, we had the tribute match was a fun idea, but why not for the title?
I liked it involved. Excuse me.
See, the show's making you sleep.
Exactly, and dude, does that rarely happen after Dynamite, doesn't it?
Yes,
it rarely does.
Yeah, that's not true. Come on.
Yeah, I'm a sleepy bastard, especially on Wednesday.
What was with the KO promo? And then Kalisto was just there, and he was like, "Nice hat."
With the fedora.
Yeah, what was that?
And then Otis came up and actually gave, I'll give him a little credit. That was a nice little promo that Otis did. He stays in his wheelhouse, and I don't mind it.
Sasha Carmella was like...
I don't like anything that's happening there right now.
The only thing to me was the didgeridoo.
The didgeridoo.
And Blake.
Okay, so we'll talk about that real quick. Yeah. We had Murphy versus King Corbin.
Yes.
The didgeridoo.
Versus the Possum
King. He came out with Aaliyah on his arm. And Dominic, who was looking very fresh, wearing that Tom Ford belt and that nice pink shirt, which was still probably 2 sizes too big, but it looked good.
Yeah.
Ray came out with some cool looking stuff on. He had obviously just wrestled a match, but he was just like, I'm out here to support my new son-in-law, or my soon-to-be son-in-law, or my soon-to-be turning on my family.
Yeah, I'll just be interested to see how people defend this show and talk about this show.
I will be too.
Because
then King Corbin comes out and he has 2 new henchmen with him, who are dressed terribly. They're wearing blazers with hoodies underneath. And it's the former members.
We didn't even notice it at first. We were just who are those guys? You're like, what's going on?
And then I immediately recognized, I'm like, oh, that's Blake, and that's Steve Cutler. These are the former Forgotten Sons, minus Jackson,
They are now the Remembered Sons.
They're now the Remembered Sons. And then I get this big blast from the past because, when I got sucked back into wrestling was end of 2014, beginning of 2015. That's when I kind of suckered you in, hardcore. And was able to grab you because Blake and Murphy.
NXT was the shit.
Because NXT was the shit. And because of guys like Blake and Murphy, and because of guys like Baron Corbin, who are all now in the ring. Baron Corbin was this great foil to everything.
At one point, yes, in NXT. I was hyped on Hideo Itami when he was there. Finn Balor, the Ascension.
No, I'm not saying Baron Corbin was the reason to, I'm saying that they were there and they were there to be the heels.
Baron Corbin was a fucking big deal and was a great in NXT.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's done, but pretty much this match ends with interference from the 2 goons of the Possum King, and Baron Corbin picks up the win.
Cool.
Whatever. It's like, I haven't seen this match. What the fuck?
It's
it happened last week.
You said it during the show. It's like
what?
They just didn't give you a reason to care about anything tonight.
No,
nothing felt important.
Literally, you know why we skipped past the Caleb Braxton Roman promo? Because I didn't listen. Because I've heard it's been the same promo now, kind of for
They were like, "Oh, this is working.
Months.
We'll do the exact same thing for the next
Roman
3 months."
Comes out and he talks really quiet.
I'm the head of the table. I'm the big chief.
Relevancy.
And then Jay's like, yeah, man, you hardcore. Yeah, but I'm hardcore too. And it's like, Jay, you ain't done shit. He's like, but I've done stuff.
Street Profits were there for backstage. I wish WWE had more of a tag team division because, my God, these guys are cool.
They're so good.
They've kind of stayed with the belts now, especially... They've been champions for a long time.
But like you said, there's no who's going to take it off them.
That's why I'm wishing for a better tag team division. It'll never come.
I honestly hope it's Ziggler and Robert Roode, just because let's get Bobby Roode out there, do some real wrestling. Talking about glory days of NXT.
And then for the most hyped part of the whole show,
and that is a stretch.
Sell It, a pro wrestling show, made their debut in the Thunderdome. Brother G and El Gran Flaco.
Yeah, so you were unavailable at the time. You were taking care of some diabetic-related things. And
no, I was not. I do not have diabetes. That was an odd fucking joke, you sicko. Oh my good. I'm sorry to offend any of the, what did you say, diabetes? My God, what is wrong with you, man? There are children out there with that. My goodness, what is wrong with you? And his face is in shock, and he doesn't even know what to think. But we were on the Thunderdome. I was unavailable. El Gran Flaco made his debut in the WWE for a grand total of 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah, they kicked you out right fast, didn't they? I was in there for like
they kicked El Gran Flaco out fast.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
I was unavailable with business, but
yes.
With El Gran Flaco, 30 seconds to a minute. I don't know. Find him on the.
If you've listened this far and can find us,
you're not. What are we like? Only 15 minutes in, maybe not.
16 minutes in.
Oh, okay, yeah. You're not. Nobody's listening this far in. Fuck you. Have a nice day. Like I don't care. Let's talk about wrestling.
Yeah.
This is the Smackdown sound off. We finished Smackdown. That's a D.
That was a D. And not a brother D. That was just a flat out D. A D minus.
A D.
A D plus?
Maybe a D plus. Because, like, at least there's, like...
At least it looked nice.
Yeah.
They got good cameras.
Yep.
The lighting is
the
nice.
The Possum King didgeridoo wasn't the worst thing. No. Especially with the return of, like, the Remembered Sons now. Ugh. So, like... that could go to something.
Well, like, okay, so to your point earlier, so again, what was the best part of this show? Overall, best part of this show was
the Pat Patterson tribute video.
The Pat Patterson tribute video.
Like I said, this was the Pat Patterson episode.
The best part of Dynamite this week was, and I don't mean for this to be, but to your point earlier, okay, like at the end of the day, WWE like has made it very clear, like AEW is competition, and we're gonna do this and do that, blah blah blah. So SmackDown is your next show, your next this is your response, and this is the diss track you come out with. Like this is ridiculous. Like this was a live show
like
tonight.
Dynamite dropping like back to back. It's like Drake.
Exactly.
They're dropping Tupac. You know what I'm saying? Like
they're dropping like these amazing things that are gonna be talked about.
Yeah, because I took your wrestler. That's what AEW's saying, you know.
And SmackDown's just tracks. Over here like Big E got new music.
Think big.
I do like that. Again, I want to love like what WWE's doing. Okay, I want to. I truly do. But you have to give them harsh criticism because they have the opportunity to do it and they just won't.
You know what? WWE or AEW is so easy to also shit on.
Oh, of course.
Because I think it has a lot of problems still. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of inconsistencies of sorts, or just like the storylines, or like what they're doing, and like character moods, shifts, twists, turns, like
but at least
convoluted,
there's stuff.
Like exactly. There's at least substance.
There's substance to talk about. What is there to talk about from this show?
Here's the deal. I mean, almost anything should never be bad. Like, you strive to be bad just so something is talked about.
Right, of course. I agree.
Like, just because you're moving a needle doesn't mean you want to be moving the needle that way.
Hopefully. Ideally. That's an ideal situation. You don't want to be doing that.
Controversy creates cash, but not anymore. That's an outdated term if you really think about it.
I really do.
Like, nowadays, you can't really do that stuff.
You can and you can't. Like, it depends on what the controversy is, you know?
Do you think AEW WWE could ever go back to an attitude type era? Not even with the sponsors. But just with the reaction.
You mean just like in terms of rowdiness? Like in terms of like just lewdness and
like
crudeness?
If it was like those old women's matches, like I just feel like how internet culture is nowadays. Like more people would rally behind like this is fucked.
That's
like,
the thing. The entire American culture at that time was completely different. This is the era where everything was extreme and like Cheerios extreme, like freaking Chef Boyardee, the XFL,
Chef Boyardee
extreme with Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, boom 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 in the commercial. And
on-air production meeting, we are going to shoot a video of me dressed up as Jeff Hardy with me doing that in random spots, me doing the dance to the music.
Oh, absolutely.
But continue, yeah.
I think we need to do you.
Which, by the way, did you see his scary fucking bump?
I did, yeah. I watched it live during that Symphony of Destruction match. It was gnarly, dude. But I think he did kind of slow himself, and he just kind of like bumped it at the end. They did like a backstage interview like for WWE.com or like YouTube or something after the match, and I watched it. And I mean, Jeff, obviously, from years of just being Jeff, he's just kind of a chill dude. He seemed fine. He really did. Like, he didn't seem like out of it or loopy or anything. Like,
you know what?
Seemed pretty good.
It's just at the end of the day, it is hard to be like an extreme wrestling fan and watch all the products and then not compare them.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you're spending your time on one and the other, you got to decide like what time was more worth it. AEW was just. Do I think the show this past Wednesday was like this incredible? Like, no, I don't. I think there were two big talking points that were big.
I think
they
huge.
Really opened things.
I think
there are even greater things to now come.
Exactly.
This was a seed planted almost.
Absolutely.
Sort of dynamite.
Absolutely.
And you just watch SmackDown every week, and it doesn't go to anything. There's no conclusion.
What are we doing here?
How long did Roman feud with Jey, and now Jey is just like this miscreant that doesn't win, but he wants to brawl with everyone?
The only reason.
What are they doing?
The only reason we ended Seth Rollins' feud against Rey Mysterio and company is because Seth was taking time off. Like, that's it. Otherwise, that feud would probably still be happening.
Why isn't Dominic wrestling or Rey though? Either.
Because there's no plan,
like,
man.
The didgeridoo dude is just wrestling for the whole familia now. Like, what?
Like
really, if you guys like this, like. If somebody watched this show and was like, I loved what I just saw, I want to know why. I love SmackDown. I praise SmackDown more than you, and sometimes more than AEW on a weekly basis.
But not lately.
Not lately. How can you?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah, man, it is really one of those where I hate coming on here. I would love to be able to just like have multiple wrestling shows a week that are worth really sinking my teeth into.
Yeah, because I'm not trying to say like one is more worth than the other, but I am at the same time.
At the same time,
enjoy what you like. If you
absolutely
really like SmackDown, still watch it.
Fuck yeah, still watch it.
I'm not going to if it's not worth my time.
Yeah,
you're still gonna have the most
now,
viewers. Good for you, but
at this juncture, if we had to only watch one wrestling program a week, how is it not Dynamite?
Impact. What?
Oh. Well, this Tuesday, hey, man, think about it like this. We're going to have wrestling a lot this week. We're going to have Raw on Monday.
I really think
Impact. There's probably going to be more people watching Impact this Tuesday than there have been in years.
What time does Impact start at?
7 or 8. On Twitch.
Either we just do it on the Discord or somebody does a solo episode. I think we need to talk about Kenny's appearance. We don't even have to talk about Impact.
Okay.
Just Kenny's appearance and what that
I'll do
does.
a solo run on it because I'm going to watch it live.
I mean, I'm probably going to watch it live too.
Okay. Well, then we might, yeah.
Just hop on Discord and I think...
Let's do it.
Yep.
And let's do a video and let's put it out.
All right, if you're fine with your camera. I mean, my camera doesn't look too good, but it doesn't matter.
No, it's not. Who cares? Just do some lighting. Just borrow the Halo light and have that set up. Because like that light's gonna blow out the pixels and make it much better.
Anyway. What can I say, man? It's just not worth watching most of WWE, NXT even.
Yeah, which pains me to say.
It's just rough, like Gargano.
Yeah,
I just kind of hate what he's been doing. I hate Candice LeRae.
Yep. Can't.
Rhea Ripley's awesome, though.
I am excited for War Games. I think that's going to be fun, just because it's a fun pay-per-view.
Pat McAfee's great.
Oh, he's the best.
Triple H says he's like sticking around even after War Games, is great. Which is, I hope, true.
This is very good.
Him,
did you see? And Peter, did you see how CM Punk kind of praised McAfee while also just completely destroying NXT?
No.
On Twitter.
No.
Something to the effect of.
Of course.
Everyone in NXT should kind of be more or less ashamed of themselves because Pat McAfee comes in here and he runs a better promo than any single person on this show or like any show in WWE, which honestly, like, he kind of does.
But it's like, yeah, but is that because they're giving him that clearance? Like, hey, just go out there and be you, man.
Well, I think it's because they are told in developmental, hey, this is how you run a WWE promo. Like, you can be yourself, but within these parameters. Whereas Pat McAfee
we really should do like a deep dive. We should like take the last 2 months of wrestling and really watch like backstage promos. And like, let's see, like, is there a certain cadence that everyone's talking with? What's the like vernacular? Yeah. Like, what, like, how much of it is all the same in the WWE? How much of it is like, oh my God, like these guys are literally saying the same thing?
We break it down like full on, like mathematics style, and then put it
out. Tony Khan statistics.
Yeah, Tony Khan hires us. We're on the payroll now.
Stuff like that, yeah.
It's just like, I like what you boys do.
Was there a sick dig tonight on Smackdown?
Oh yeah, when Paul Heyman in the opening promo like was talking about his analytics team at Fox. There was a lot of mention of the Fox network.
Fox and Friends.
Did you notice that? Which is a heavy like Republican morning show. That was Otis that said that, but I don't think he meant it. I think he meant like our friends at Fox.
Yeah.
Which
maybe
I don't
the Remembered Son showed up, and last time I checked.
Oof. Well. That really came full circle, didn't it?
Things are getting full gear.
So, no show tomorrow night. Show on Sunday. We've got the week review. And then we've got War Games, so we'll have to do some sort of post-game celebration thing on that. So, Sunday is going to be a heavy wrestling day. Yeah, man, dude, I cannot wait for next week. I can't believe, like, I'm genuinely like, wow.
So Sting is going to be here.
Sting is going to be on Dynamite next.
No, here in the Wrestling Cellar.
You think we could get Sting?
I thought we could afford him, possibly.
I think I know someone who could make Sting happen quite easily, if you catch my drift.
Oh, I've already dug it, brother.
Okay. All
right.
I think Wolfpack Sting specifically, he makes a little appearance for us.
All right. What are we at, like 30 minutes now?
28.
28. You want to start wrapping this up then?
Yeah, man. So if anyone has somehow listened to this, we appreciate it.
I just feel like I could keep going on and on and on.
I could keep going on.
I really could.
But let's save it for the week review and bottle that all up.
5 more minutes, man. Because here's the deal. Cut the bull crap, motherfrickers. You took away most of the roster from SmackDown and left them with Bupkiss. And now every week is just a pitiful graveyard of talent being wasted.
Mm-hmm.
But you could also say that about Raw. But Raw has a lot of star power.
And they just don't use it well.
Dude, Keith Lee.
Yep.
Riddle.
Yep.
Which his backstage promos are like whatever. I don't really like the whole. I'm like so high.
I think he's like, outside of the WWE mold a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think he kind of is himself, which I mean I respect. Might not be my favorite thing in the world, but it's different.
There is a little mixture of like having your own self, but then also having that WWE help. And like
no, absolutely.
Style.
That boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that TV ready style.
Middle.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Drew McIntyre, like he's a good like it's a WWE promo, but you're like, oh, he actually like
he's commanding.
He gets to be Drew.
He gets to be Drew underneath it. But he has to say things like, all of you people in the WWE universe.
But like, Tonight on SmackDown, like that Sasha
oh my God,
Carmella segment. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, we're fighting over titles because of what? Because I'm better than you, COVID. Because I'm better than you. Like, all my title reigns last longer than you. Like, what is this new persona from Carmella? Is it not the same thing?
I don't understand it.
She's not the Princess of Staten Island, but like she's untouchable now.
Yep.
Was it? I guess it's just like different names, but like she just changed a tire. Now it's a different thing. She's a new person, I guess. That's an AEW move.
Hey now.
The bunny.
But at least they did eventually full circle that back in.
But like, in a good way, do you think? Like, wasn't it just so random? That whole thing was so random.
It was all random. I don't know.
I have said about AEW, I think they just write things down, they put it in their back pocket, and then Tony Khan changes his pants, and he finds a note in his back pocket like 3 weeks later. He wrote the bunny to the Nightmare family and QT Marshall. And then one day he put his pants back on, pulled it out, and was like, oh yeah, wait, that is still happening. She's going back to the Butcher and the Blade.
If that's the case, that's more than WWE does because they write it the day of, and then they rewrite it the day of. We never even
talked about it. Was Vince looking rough?
Yeah. Vince looks rough all the time now.
There's rumors like people were saying like he's had plastic surgery. Did you get that vibe? Did you see any sort of?
No, I think I just see an old man that's starting to deflate.
I mean, even his voice is like.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. When
and I think he's just like he's got such an enormous weight on him. Like I don't even understand why he's still doing it. He's gonna do it till he dies, obviously.
Do you think wrestling dies when WWE dies? In a way.
To a larger audience, yes.
Like, it will never be then. Like, do you think if WWE, let's say realistically, dies in like 20 years?
Uh-huh. Which I don't see happening, but...
Really? You don't?
No.
Okay. So let's say they die in the next 20 years. Do you think AEW stays around for 20 years? Realistically?
Yeah. No, I genuinely
do. Why?
Why? Because I think this is a passion project from a very smart man. Like, I have a tremendous amount of faith in, maybe not the wrestling booker that Tony Khan is 100% of the time, but the businessman that he is.
That's the thing, though. If he's a businessman and a smart man, we will have to see what, like, the turnarounds are, the profits are for them. And if it's not profitable and they can't get on TV after their deal, sell it.
But, hey, they're
pro wrestling show.
They're looking to expand and do stuff all the time. They're looking to add another hour of television. They're looking to split Dark up into two separate shows.
They're looking to work with Impact.
They're looking to work with New Japan. Kenny Omega next week is going to appear on Impact. Yeah. He's going to appear on Dynamite. And then it's either next weekend or the weekend after. He's defending the AAA Mega Championship against the Laredo Kid at Triple Mania. Like, they're working with everyone.
I mean, yeah.
Wrestling's never been like that.
No, not like really.
That.
Not like that.
No. I mean, not even in territory days, because they weren't, like, heavily acknowledging, like, specific places. They were just referencing general areas.
One-offs with one group of talent, like one guy. Like, if you had, like, Jerry Lawler, Memphis. If you had him go up to New York, it's not like you were announcing he was from this wrestling promotion. It was just... No, this is Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, this is
a one-off, like Madison Square Garden type
Absolutely.
thing. Like, but no, like this is opening floodgates.
This is gonna be like on a level that we've never seen.
We had made our Dynamite episode, like the tagline about Omega, and everyone did Sting. Yeah, but it's like
Sting is so cool, but Sting's I think Omega and what's going on with that.
But that's the future of wrestling.
That's the future of wrestling.
That's the
and doesn't
future.
It actually feel like it is?
If it is, time will tell.
Time will
tell. For whom the bell's tolled.
But dude, like, have you seen like all the stuff that Don Callis was kind of posting on social media about how he's the invisible hand? He is the hand that has controlled like wrestling, like behind the scenes for the last few years. Like,
kind of.
It's in a roundabout way. Yeah. Absolutely, he has.
What fuck name?
The Painmaker.
Okada.
well, he booked him and Kenny Omega. Like,
wait. No, wait. Did Jericho and Okada wrestle? No.
I don't think him and Okada wrestled.
No, who am I thinking of? He did Omega, and then who else? Didn't he wrestle 2 in Japan?
Yeah, I can't remember who the other wrestler. Yeah, you looked that up.
Maybe.
But no, I think now you've got a lot of people who are willing to kind of be like, oh, okay, let's do some stuff here. And dude, there's still so many free agents out there and other people who it's like, you want to talk about moving the needle? Like, you're going to start moving it when you just have, like, the most undeniable talents in the world over on your brand.
And, man, they got a lot of talent already in AEW. So to think of just, like, the 2-3 guys in Impact that are actually good.
There's a lot more than 2-3 guys right now, man.
Tag team-wise, sure. Singles guys, I don't even know. Oh, dude. Powerhouse Hobbs, Willie Mack.
That would be fantastic.
See that?
You want to see Eric Young come in and join the Dark Order? See, now we're making... Oh.
But will it be that? I don't know, because COVID is so bad. They are in, like, the lax state.
They're in the lax state, and the people that have been working Impact shows are used to, they're doing,
what
like,
was I supposed
testing.
To be looking up? There was something we were...
Oh, yeah. What were you? Oh, God.
I had to send the Snapchats.
I think that's the perfect time to wrap it up.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Smackdown Sound Off. We appreciate it.
The state of the wrestling union. I mean, overall.
Yeah.
Smackdown was just far disappointing.
Yeah. But even...
We might have to stop the Smackdown Sound Off.
Oh, do you really feel that way? Just because it's like...
No, it just might not be worth it.
It's not worth your time.
Like, because the week review, we can just read the results and catch up.
Yeah. Yeah, unless it starts, maybe we just bury the show for a little while.
This was the Smackdown Sound Off, and we will see you later.
Good night, everybody.